people. Hope everyone is good. Straight into it, no messing about. Leeds United need to use the loan market, obviously. Look at every team that goes up in the Championship. Their team has key loans in there. It's a good market. It's a good league for young loan players to come into and express themselves, increase their value, get you back to the Premier League, and then stake a claim for their parent side. These are all the names I found. Some are wild, some are realistic. I just noted them and shotted them. So I've got them into 4 players that I'm going to show you now that I think Leeds United should go for based on the positions we need. I have these loan players are predominantly young. I've not gone for older loan players. Let's go. Yeah, Jesurun, Rak-Sakyi. Yeah, I mean, everyone's been speaking about this guy. Obviously, he's a really good player. Was excellent at Charlton the other season, not last season, but the one before. Went back to Palace last season. Got quite a bad injury. Was out for quite a while. I believe he's 21, not 22, so that's wrong. But yeah, a guy, like I said, who had an excellent League One loan signing to Charlton. Was very good there. He's too good. He's probably now ready after his injury. He did feature a bit for Palace at the end of the season, in certain periods of the season as well. Off the bench, looked direct, looked good, still looked the same player he was. Give it a realism rating of 8 out of 10 because I think he's going to need one more top loan before he can break into that Palace side, especially with all their talent. And if they do lose them talent, I'm sure they'll bring someone else in. I think he'd fit perfectly for Leeds United. I think in terms of profile, the type of player we're looking for in a winger, if we are expected to lose 2 of our good wingers, a player like this is perfect. For me, it fits in really well. If we didn't get him, I'm convinced he'd go to another top side, Championship side. There's definitely a player I really want. Yeah, like I said, it's realistic. League One the other year for Charlton Athletic, 8 goals, 15 assists from the wing. Very good season. He's a brilliant player. He really is. I really like him. I liked him last year, and I still like him now. Strengths, close ball control. By the way, excuse any spelling mistakes. I was rushing. I want to get this out. Close ball control, dribbling, all the basic incentives of a wing. He has them in abundance, but his effectiveness in games, something wingers struggle to do. They often go very quiet. But this guy just tends to have a consistent run. There's not really a period of games where he doesn't get a goal or assist. He's always involved. And that's really good for a winger. That consistency and effectiveness as a winger is something that makes them to that next level. So a goal and assist output, again, is part of that. He gets that. Progressive carries, of course, that comes with his direct plays, dribbling, his pace. But he does it, and he does it effectively. That's the key part of it. He doesn't just do it for the sake of it and win a foul. You know, he'll run past the defender. He'll break into that box, and he's got a decent strike on him in that box, or he'll find a pass. Very good player. Like I said, finding good spaces. Finishing, hitting the ball. Hitting the ball will. That's not to say will. Well, he hits the ball really well. That's when I think some of the times you look at the strikes and they might be close to the goalkeeper, but he hits them with so much power that they go in. And he's got raw pace. Improvements, hasn't played much in 23-24. Like I said, he had a horrible injury. Stayed at Palace. Maybe they're trying to figure out a breakthrough role for him, but the injury definitely backset that. And I think a top side Championship loan would be key for him. And we'd love that, surely. Well, I would, anyway. So yeah, the next one, a centre-back, Ashley Phillips. Key, a right-sided centre-back as well. That is the profile I believe we need. Made 18 appearances from January for Plymouth last season. Yeah, look, player that was really good for Plymouth from what I saw. I remember he played against Leeds, he was pretty decent. He had a good battle with the guys up top. But a player that at 18, he's just constantly growing. His physical attributes are all there at that age. I think he's one of them who can have that real breakout where he can stay at a team, basically. You know, kind of the similar like Ben White did. Maybe not to the heights of Ben White so quick, but a player who is ready for that. More experience, more pressure, top-end Championship loan for sure. I really like him as a profile. He's a really good type of player. He's good on the eye in terms of on the ball as well at times. Came through Blackburn, got bought by Spurs for a lot of money, and spent last season on loan at Plymouth. Or I think it's half the season, I can't remember. But 18 years old, but doesn't play like it. There's aspects of his games that are that. But I put 9 out of 10. I don't think he'll break through at Spurs this year. I think it's a season too soon. I still think he's waiting for that consistent full Championship top-end season. And I think it's one we can do. You look at the positions we will need. One of them will definitely be a centre-back. And if we don't get Road on, definitely a right-sided centre-back. So he's definitely one of them I'd consider. There's a few in this position, and I'll go through honourable mentions at the end. This is just one I think is most realistic from the few that I've picked out. And there's some names at the start that you could look for as well. Yeah, for me, definitely, I think. And that's what I tried to do with these. I tried to make them realistic. So McAtee, of course, I'd love McAtee on loan. Players like that caliber, obviously. But he's probably going to go Premier League. That's my thing. If we could get people like that, obviously. But I'm trying to be realistic here. And that would be a tough one. If we did that, that'd be ridiculous. Things I love about him is recovery, reading of the game. Very good reading of the game, especially for an 18-year-old. And these are things you got to consider. You don't play like an 18-year-old. He's now been in the Championship for 2 seasons, so he's got good idea of the league already. 18 years old. Defensive duels 1v1 is pretty decent. Finding forward passes is very good at. So them kind of progressive passes, I think he's got that in the locker. I think he can find them. I don't know why finding good spaces in the final third is there. That shouldn't be there. But yeah, potential, again, you're looking at a player who is waiting for that ridiculously good breakout season, right? Where he really puts a name for himself. And this could be it, and I think it might be. I think it's good. And body positioning, I like the way when the team's attacking, he doesn't dive in. He doesn't necessarily straight on. His body position is good. He's always anticipating the ball in behind or to the feet. He's good at reading where the ball's going to go. Improvements, concentration. Look, with a young man, at times you can get a little lax concentration sometimes. It's not a bad thing. It's just a little thing that needs to slightly improve. And basic passing decision. So at times, have I spelled that wrong? Anyway, at times he can get quite relaxed on the ball, but to a point where if there's no options and he's relaxed, that's when he can get pressed and maybe make a little mistake. But again, we're talking about someone here who made those mistakes, and now as he grows, will learn from them. But everything for me defensively and for the most part on the ball is a top player. Physicality as well is not an issue at 18. Trust me, he's massive. He's a big guy. I've seen him in duels against big strikers in the Championship, and he's dealt with most of them. So definitely one I'd consider. Carlos Forbs. Now, if you guys are OGs here, you will remember this guy. Although it's Carlos Borges with his name. I think it's a translation thing. I'm not too sure. I believe it is. Maybe changed the last name. I'm not sure. But it's the same guy. He was at Manchester City. Remember we talked about him last season in Leeds. He went to Ajax. He said he'd come to the Championship, which he would. But he's had an up and down season at Ajax. And I wasn't sure about this one. I thought it'd be tough. I still think it would be. But obviously he's a winger, direct winger. But I've had a look at some stuff online and there's talk of him going. I don't think he's had a great season and it's not been terrible, but he could have been better. They expected more for the price they paid. Maybe a loan is good for him, a Championship loan. I think it would, again, looking at his trajectory and his development, he's a top player for me. I mean, at the levels we're at, obviously. I'm not talking about top level in Europe. But where we're at, I think he'd do really well. I think he'd have a good impact on our side. I think he'd work in our side. And if you could get a loan from Ajax for a season where he's playing games, 21 appearances is good, but not many of them were starts. Maybe about half, 60% or something like that, maybe less. But he got 4 assists and 2 goals, which ain't terrible for about 10 to 15 starts. So maybe less. I think he's a good player. I've always liked him. Even watching highlights of him and watching some clips from the games this season. He's still that same player. Yeah, struggled at times with his decision making in the box and stuff, but I put a realism of 6 just because I'm not sure if they'll let him go on loan. But again, a player who's always had look at his teams. I know you can't really see it, but behind my head, Ajax, Man City, and you got Sport in there. Like, he's a guy with real potential and just needs that real key role in a side where he's playing every game for his development, because he's that type of player he needs to play to develop. Came through City under 23s, obviously. We had a ridiculous season there. Went to Ajax. Probably too much of a step for one season for me. Now, looking back at it, take a season in the Championship at a top competitive team in the Championship, get some goals and assists and help them win the league or go up. Honestly, I like him a lot. I like how he's balanced the play, and we'll get into that now. Holding width, that's something that we need at times during our games. I know we like to come narrow, but there's times where we just like to just hold width. And what is key, and I put this down there, is a left-footed winger. We didn't have any. We had none. We have that option. We need that option for me. We need that different option. He's left-footed. He plays left side and he's left-footed. Excellent. When we need that width and we need that directness, direct play, whatever, direct running, he's good in that. Successful take-ons. He's, regardless of his output and his end product at times, his take-ons and progressive carries are ridiculous and some of the best for players that played similar amount of minutes for him. Offensive duels is part of that. Really aggressive offensively. Really runs. When he runs forward and goes for it, he makes that run. And it's with conviction as well, which I love. Speed with the ball as well. 1v1. Kind of know what he's going to do when he gets it. Really, for the most part, he likes to just run on the outside and take them on and get to that byline and cut it or shoot. But he's too quick. I don't know. I really like him. He's got good agility, good ball control. I like the player. I do. It's whether Ajax will loan him. We'll see. Because he's been criticised a lot this year, and fans, from what I've seen, are generally not so happy with him. And there is talk of a loan. Improvements, final third output. He has got that. I think that's a confidence thing. I really do. Because he had it. You watch his technique and the way he strikes the ball, the way he decides to finish. He has got that. He has. But that's something that he needs to develop consistently. Getting involved in the game more consistently, like I said. Young guy, first season Ajax. I think he struggled with that pressure of it. He'd have learned a lot from that. Going down a level from playing Ajax, to Leeds United in the Championship, still pressure, obviously. But I think he'd thrive in our system. I genuinely do. I think he's fairly similar to Nanto's profile in that sense, but I do think he's more suited on that same side of his foot. Nanto played the right, but I think Nanto was better on the left, cutting in. We saw it in the Premier League. I think Forbs or Borges, whichever one you want to use. I honestly don't know about that stuff. Someone let me know if you know. He's a left-footed left side. 1v1 on the left on the outside. You'll get to the byline a lot with him, and he'll get a lot of low crosses in the box. He'll get a lot of assists, and he can strike a ball. And he's all right with his right. He can use his right to strike from in the box as well. So definitely one I'd consider 100%. We'll need wingers too. There's a lot of wing options, and I'll go through them in a minute. The final one in the Forbs for honourable mentions. There's some good honourable mentions, by the way, so stay tuned for them because they are good. So the final one is Lovro Zvonarek, a 19-year-old attacking midfielder, number 10, from Bayern Munich. Now, I'll just show you quickly behind my head. He is featured in the first team. Has now signed, I believe, a first-team contract, or is a part of that first team. I don't know how it works, but he's in the first team now. So, spent last season in Bundesliga 2, obviously at 19 years old, young man coming through, that's where they usually spend. Not Bundesliga 2, sorry. I think it's the third division. Got 22 appearances, 6 assists, 8 goals. He's a 10. He's a technical 10. Spent his youth career, obviously, in Croatia. He's Croatian. Now, I didn't know this guy until about maybe a month ago. I was watching Zvonarek, his team play, and he played a bit for Zvonarek team, I believe. I believe it was him. But this guy, anyway, is, for me, one of them gems that will turn it up. And I'm seeing links of him leaving on loan. I'm seeing it. So this is a player I would very like Leeds to look at. A look at the profile and the type of player we need, the different player we need in that 10 role, even in that midfield role, wherever he plays. And he is that. We don't have that side. We have flair, aggressive attacking players in there, but we don't have technical players. He is that. And he can even dribble, he can take ons as well. He's a very good young player, has a lot of potential. Vincent Kompany is going to have a look at him and decide whether he wants to keep him or not. That's how much he's liked. He's in talks with staying with Bayern Munich this season. But apparently there's been inquiries from teams across Europe, including England. I'm not sure they'd be Premier League just yet. So that leads me to think Championship. Is that Leeds United? Let's see. But he's a player I would like us to get. I think he'd work. I think he'd be very good in this side. I do. That's why I've got him here. That's why he's one of the 4, and I've got a lot of players, trust me. I just like this guy when I see him play, his technical ability, his ball control and all that, and I'll get into that right now. Like I said, not inexperienced like XP. I don't know what I've done there. I've absolutely butchered that. Ignore the spelling mistakes, people. I apologise. I was rushing. True technical 10. He is a technical 10. Technical on the ball progressor, ball control, movement off the ball, finding dangerous spaces. Not always attracted to the ball. He's always looking around, trying to find areas where he can be most effective when he's on the ball. This is something we don't have really to that extent. He's such a smart player in that position. He really is a smart player. And it's just completely different to everything we've got. And he's got such a high ceiling, and it's kind of like, who knows what he will be. He might not work, but there's a thing in me, and from watching him, from the fact that he's now part of that Bayern first side, pushing to be in that squad, definitely potential there. I think playing and company will value the Championship and what it can do for players. Obviously, having been there, I think it's one that Leeds could look at. Obviously, the Burnley link might make you think maybe Burnley are the one, but let's see. Aggressive passes as well, especially them risky passes. I really like him. Them final third passes, decision making in the final third in terms of the passing, very effective, and I love it. Understanding the form of the attack, and what I say by this is, again, understanding where he needs to be, how the attack's going to progress, how the attack's going to look, where he needs to be during that attack. Excellent. Smart player. And again, this is what I love about him. He is a smart player. Very good on the ball. His ball control he sticks to his foot, tight spaces, little shoulder, dropping the shoulder, taking a man on, giving the ball out, finding space. I love it. End product as well. A player who's got end product in that position can hit a ball as well, people. You'll be happy to hear. Has a good strike on him. Finds the corners. Side foot, strike. Trust me. One you'd like. Definitely. There's a risk in all these. They're all young, and that was the point. I wanted to get young players that are willing to come to Championship that could thrive from one season of Championship. That's the type. Inexperience. Ignore the spelling mistake. He is inexperienced. It's a fact. Playing at this level, did break into the Bayern side and played well in the Bayern side when he broke into it as well. Had good appearances there. I think he made 5 appearances in the Bayern side, the main side, so that would definitely help. Adaptation to the Championship. One thing you're always a bit worried about with players that have not played here before, or even in that first team for a prolonged period, is that. But this is where you need these gems. I look at Fatawu, who Leicester signed, didn't really have top tier, played in the youth side, really. The B teams in Sporting Lisbon, came to the Championship and tore it up for the most part. You know? This is the type of market you have to look in to get gems at times. And pass selection. So he's a good passer in terms of the technique and the basic principle of it. But at times the selection is a bit the wrong one. He likes to try a side pass that's got 2 or 3 defenders in the way at times. Just little details. But going forward and that progressive pass in the final third, the assist side of it is very good. Honourable mentions. They're the 4, by the way. Honourable mentions. Right back. Brooke Norton-Cuffy, decent season at Millwall. Again, probably that step up. If we need a right back, he's definitely an option that's played in this level. Has potential to get better and keep getting better. And whoever, a player that was at Stoke last season, had good numbers from right back there. Player I've liked for a few years now. Again, looking at them levels now, they're going up that low market. Won't break for at Liverpool just yet. Definitely a top season Championship player for me. Anyway, definitely higher than what he played at last season. Alfie Gilchrist, everyone's talked about him. Yeah, I'm not going to put him here because it's kind of an obvious one. I like to do some different ones, but would be a good one for me. Like that, that'd be interesting. Centre back Bashir Humphreys. I've seen they want to sell him. Is he at Chelsea, isn't he? Yeah. So maybe there won't be a loan, but if there's an option there, he's definitely one to look at. I do prefer Phillips personally, but Bashir Humphreys is a decent player. Was at Swansea last season. Andrew Omabanadelli. I can't actually say that. I just mouth. Yeah. The only thing with this one is, can it happen? He's a good player. Did break into Forest. Will be very tough. Probably not. Let's be honest. Probably not. But you never know. You never know. Let's see. Goalkeeper. Yes. Valdimarsson. Now, this guy is a beast. Brentford third choice. I know this Starokov, whatever his name is, the other keeper at Brentford, it's very good. I think he might be too good for the Championship. I'd like him as well, by the way. The Albanian international. I'd like him. I would. Strežović, something like that, whatever. But this guy is very good too. I like this guy a lot. Absolutely massive, by the way, as well. He's one. If we're getting a goalkeeper on loan, he's my one. That's realistic. Very good player. If you haven't seen him, have a look at him. He's a goalkeeper, very good. Centre mid, Casadei. We wanted him last year. Leicester beat him. Didn't have a great season there, but right systems, all that. You never know. Tyler Morton, don't think we need a guy in his position. Same for Oliver Skipp. Oliver Skipp's probably Premier League anyway, let's be honest. Too good for the Championship. Has played under Farker, but apart from that, too good for the Championship. Tyler Morton, we don't really need a guy in that position. If we did, excellent player for Hull last year. Excellent. He's one you consider. Striker, don't think we'll get one. But if we did, and it's a loan, Windel, and this is the Portuguese league I'm talking about, where Fatu came from. Windel, Porto 2 striker, sorry. Scored like 20 goals in so many games. Very good. Big, physical, strong, quick, number 9, who's dangerous in the box and can score goals. He'd be one I'd definitely be looking at if we needed a lone striker. Windel, trust me. Name for the future, 100%, I think. Jay Stansfield. Decent striker for Birmingham. Maybe one that fits the system, can get you 15, 20 goals in a side that creates lots of chances. I think he got 10 to 12 in a poor Birmingham side last season. Definitely one I'd look at. Liam Delap's, similar situation. The type of striker we want. Can build play up, is a decent athlete, can finish. Just the injury issues there, obviously. Was at Hull last year, got injured, really didn't help them in that sense. Was a big player for them before that injury. He'd one I'd look at. Wingers, and there's a lot of wingers, by the way. Jeremy Sarmiento, I've always liked him. I thought we should have brought him in January. I think he was a perfect option for what we needed. Will he come back? Has he got that consistency? That's one thing I'm thinking about. Has he really got that end product? He's an excellent technical player, there's no doubt about it. He's so talented, but he's not really had the numbers ever. And his loans, he's been good in loans, but he's often been off the bench. Maybe that's the thing that we need to look into. I like the player. That's all I'm saying. David Brooks, another one we're in for. Went to Southampton, was a part of their promotion. Good player for me. Definitely one. We know about David Brooks. This guy, Gianluca Pestiani. Now, Andrea knows about this guy. This guy is at Benfica, and there's talk of him going on loan. Fabrizio Romano mentioned it. Can play on the wing or the 10. I put him as a winger. Can play the 10 as well. That is a key thing to note here. Can play both. Really struggled to break that Benfica. There's a lot of good young talent in Benfica. A good player for me. I did watch 2 games of him back to back. One of them, he just struggles to get on the ball. That's the thing that he'd need to develop. When he's on the ball, when he's dry, he's such good ball control, close control, stuff like that. The kind of typical short, dynamic number 10 that you'd expect. Really good on the ball, close control, size type. You know, really dangerous player, but struggles to get into games for me. Needs to be a bit more brave in his movement to find spaces. But maybe the system works for him. But he's definitely one I'd like, for sure. Probably more of a 10 though. Should be in the 10 bit. Ben Doak, good player. I don't know if you saw a little bit. He played for Liverpool last season. But very good direct winger. One to watch, I think, if we need a winger, definitely. Mikey Johnson was excellent at West Brom. We'll probably say it's Celtic. That's why he's in this bit. But I like him. Just the end product missing for Mikey Johnson. Now, this guy. Giovanni Buenda. This guy is I think he's 17 or 18. Let's just Sporting Lisbon B. Been watching a bit of those leagues. The Sporting, the Porto and the Benfica B sides. They've got some really good young talent there. Again, Fatu, who remember came from that Sporting Lisbon B, is a winger. Very good. That's all I'll say about him. I know it's probably what happened when he's young, but I don't know. As an option, having a guy like that, he'll get numbers. He got numbers. Yeah, if there's any compilations on YouTube, I go watching people if there is. I'm not sure if there is, but go look. Good player. Good young winger. Keep an eye out for that name, trust me. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Sorry about the rushed energy to this. I'm trying to get this out as soon as possible because there's all Euro games on and stuff. And there will be a winger video coming for the Somerville replacement because it's fair to say I think he's going. But when that gets a bit more solid, there will be 100%. I've got them ready. The names are there, people. There'll be a Bundesliga video coming soon as well. So Bundesliga players we could get, because I think that's a market we'll look at. Bundesliga 1 and 2, and a winger 1 coming up. And maybe a few others. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Please just comment players you want. Any in this list or the original list right at the start. Any there that you think work, that you like. Let me know. There's loads of good names in there. But yeah, appreciate everyone. Peace.